need to get some stuff on my walls. Okay, let's do this.
Check, check, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, feeling tired today. Oh, thumbnail. Good enough. Welcome back to Create Your Own Truth. We are on the second to last episode of season 3. So I've got the next one planned out and then taking a little break. So I am going to talk about something today that is definitely on my mind lately. And it's not like these are new thoughts, but some new thoughts are coming up with regard to this like centering thought, which is that we're all on a never-ending journey. And if you don't realize that by now, try to just think about that statement, like this is a never-ending journey. And it really starts to hit home, because this is what I'm always talking about when I say like it's not just about a challenge, like a 4-week fitness challenge, or just aiming for that one vacation. Like it is a journey. And yes, you can have those moments where you're like hitting those big goals, but in reality, like we have to do this for life, and we hope to live a long life, and that means it's going to be a long journey. It's not linear. It is, has its ups and downs, and it's never ending. So I think if you're along for the ride, like you're in the right mindset and just learning to love that journey, and it can honestly like take the pressure off of you. Because so often we get stuck in these like, oh, I'm failing, or oh, I'm hitting so much motivation right now, and then oh, it all dropped off and I'm failing again. So if you think about it like as a never-ending journey, those moments of like success and failure start to feel a little less like, not important, but like life-shattering, and especially if you're always hard on yourself, just remember that it's a never-ending journey, and you can pull yourself out of it, and it may take some work and may take some help, but you will get there. It's not always going to feel this way. So that's kind of the overarching, whatever the word is, theme for today's episode. But why I've been feeling to talk about this lately is because I'm really feeling those like, okay, be gentle with yourself right now. Like take some rest, take a step back. And I've really been trying to do that. And it's something I've been working on. And not even just with regard to my fitness journey, like that's just one aspect, but with my business, with my life in general, like incorporate more rest. I am someone who's always on the go, and you burn out. Like even if I'm someone who, which I'm someone who thrives off of like productivity and doing things and making lists and getting shit done. And, I'm not someone who sits down and watches TV for hours on end. Like if I do, I usually have my laptop in front of me and I'm like doing something for my business while I'm watching TV. So it's hard for me to relax. And, I'm always like a busybody, always like cleaning something or doing something. And I've really tried to slow down a lot lately. And I'm really in a place where I'm feeling like I'm allowing myself to. And there are a lot of feelings of guilt associated with that, but I'm working through them. But it's just kind of been occurring to me lately, like this is a lifelong journey. Every single thing, whether it's my fitness, whether it's food, whether it's my business, whether it's my personal life, like everything is a lifelong journey. So I'm constantly learning and growing and just trying to listen to what I need more, like in any given point in my journey. And I feel like we all go through certain stages where we need one thing and then we transition a little bit and then we all of a sudden need another thing. So I'm trying to be very like open-minded and gentle with myself and just recognize that I'm doing my best, and it's a journey and it will take a lot of growth and inner work and healing. So I guess what I'm just trying to say is that like this is life, it's not always these like timestamps of like gotta get this done by this, and this life event is happening. Like it doesn't always have to be that way. It's just kind of ebbing and flowing. The reason I wanted to talk about this today is because I've been allowing myself more rest and like just trying to slow down in every area of my life. And that does include fitness. And I thought this might be relatable because I feel like we look back at certain beliefs or thoughts we had, and it's not that they're wrong, it's just that maybe we were like, this is the right way. This is the only way. This is, the only thing that works for me. And I'm just at a point right now where I'm like, nope, I can look back and laugh a little bit at myself and not say I was wrong, but like there's more than one way, which is like so on point for life. Like there's millions of ways to do everything in life. And I've really been kind of slowing down on my fitness journey, which is kind of hard for me to admit or just to even admit to myself. But I've been doing the best that I can. I've talked about this on previous podcast episodes. But life is very busy. And although that's not really an excuse, it also is because, and I talk about this with my clients all the time, I talk about this on my content on social media, that you can only do the best that you can. You cannot aim for perfection. So me expecting to work out 4 or 5 days a week right now is aiming for perfection, and that's unfair to myself. Like that's unfair for me to do to myself. So I am very proud of the mentality I've had the last couple of months. And I have been doing, probably like 3 or 4 months, honestly. And I've been doing the best that I can to move my body. And I'm lucky I have an active job. And I do like to exercise, but I just haven't been doing it in the way that I was. And that's where I can kind of look back and laugh a little bit because, I do love lifting weights. I truly do. It gives you that feeling of empowerment and confidence and strength. And honestly, it transformed my body and was able to allow me to like maintain my physique way easier and be less strict with food. So I stand by weight training like always and forever. But I'm just at a point where I'm like, right now, I don't want to touch a barbell. Right now, I don't want to walk into the gym. I have been just wanting to work out outside with like 1 or 2 dumbbells and that's it. And not plan it, just move my body, And like that's where I'm going back to like what are my desired feelings? And it doesn't really have anything to do with my physique right now. And I guess that's a form of growth because, years ago it was like, oh, I work out to get the physique that I want. And now I'm like, no, I work out because it affects the rest of my day. It affects the rest of my life, the areas of my life, my business. It affects the way I show up for myself and others. Like it is a domino effect and it does have that like strong connection to other areas in our lives. So I'm doing it for like self-love and just feeling good and getting that energy. And like if any physical benefits come from it, like great. That's almost like a second benefit right now compared to the other stuff that I'm aiming for. So I feel like, we go through life and sometimes we are stubborn. Hello, fellow Tauruses. And we are thinking like, okay, this is the right way, or this is the way that I love to do it. And that's never going to change. And it's just so funny as you like learn and grow and experience more of life and certain things are thrown your way. And you're like, oh, I can fully admit that I was a little bit wrong about that. And right now, fitness is just one of those things where I'm not wrong. Like, I know I'm not wrong with everything that I've preached and how I coach my clients and how I have truly grown as a person in my own fitness journey and as a coach. But I'm at a point in my life right now where I'm like, okay, maybe there's days I'm going to want to, hit those PRs. And then maybe there's days where I'm just going to want to take a freaking walk. And it doesn't have to be about hitting a certain number of workouts in the gym or following my, my own training plan to a T and feeling like I failed if I didn't. And I feel like that's how I've always coached my clients, like show up with whatever effort that you can, even if it's 1%, even if it means like, hey, I'm not in the mood to work out today. Okay, then great. Go take a 1-minute walk. Like I stand by that to this day. And I've done that, especially like in the last few months, I've really done that with myself as well, where I'm like, okay, just be gentle with yourself and don't expect so much from yourself. But I'm honestly like taking it to another level, and I'm just trying to check in with what I need and what my body needs and my mind needs and like my daily life needs. And maybe that's not, forcing those 4 workouts a week just so that I don't feel like I'm behind, a few workouts. And maybe it is just this stage in my life right now, like where things are just crazy the last, I want to say 6 months, but it's been like a year and a half. So I recognize that I've done the best that I can, and I'm honestly so proud of myself. And I know I'm growing even more because I'm having these like realizations and this reflection and these thoughts, and I'm trying to dig deep into them instead of brushing them off to the side and being like, nope, you know what, I just need to get my shit together and work out more. And if that means getting up at 5 a.m. and working out, like that's what I need to do to fit it in. I'm growing from that, and I'm reflecting on why I have had those feelings before and where I can go from here. So yeah, I am proud of myself, and I feel like I hope this is relatable to someone listening, because we can put so much pressure on ourselves. And like I said, this is how I've always coached my clients, and this is how I've truly transformed my own journey, is by just showing up with any effort at all. But now I feel like I'm taking it that next step by just giving myself what I need. Like, what do I need on a given day? Like, yes, I want to move my body. It is so beneficial, but maybe it is just a walk, or maybe it's spending time in nature and, going by the river and, walking out there, or maybe it's extra stretches for my body that day. Like, it doesn't have to be sticking to a perfect program so that you can get those physical results. So I do feel good about kind of the way my mindset is changing even more regarding this. And, I'm sure there's going to be those days where I am ready to get back to a full-on training plan. And maybe that'll be when life like slows down a little bit. I don't know if that ever happens. But, and there's going to be times when I am like, hey, I am ready to get back to like the gym and like a full-on training plan and lift heavier. And I'm ready to do that. Like, my body feels ready. I'm not so drained. But right now, I'm kind of just taking it for what it is. And especially with summer here, I'm like, let me just enjoy more time outside and just do what I feel like doing. And along with that, I am just practicing so much more self-love, which is the real reason I wanted to create this podcast episode today, because every single fitness journey has to be rooted in self-love, or you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, if you're doing it out of hatred for your body, or you're doing it only because you want those physique goals, you need to root your journey in self-love, and it will make all the difference. Because if you're not rooted in self-love, on those days where you just don't want to show up, you're going to guilt yourself, you're going to shame yourself, you're going to pressure yourself, you're going to force yourself, and that does not feel good. That brings up feelings of, self-hatred, self-doubt, limiting beliefs, and those are the feelings we want to avoid. We want to feel happy, we want to feel empowered, we want to feel confident, we want to feel energized and light and rejuvenated. So what action or what thought do you need to have in order to feel those things? It's not going to be shaming yourself out of skipping a workout. Like, that's not going to do it. You have to find a way to love yourself. And that's why, to kind of wrap up this whole episode and bring it back to the theme of like, life is a never ending journey. Your fitness journey is never ending. So you have to root it in self-love. Otherwise, your journey is not going to be enjoyable. It's not going to be, kind to yourself. It's not going to be you wanting to do these things. It's going to be you feeling forced. It's going to be you being hard on yourself. So if you just kind of take a step back and think, how can I approach this literally lifelong journey of taking care of my body? How can I approach that with so much love and be so kind and gentle to myself? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I know that's going to be relatable to some of you who are listening. And I hope it's relatable to all of you listening, because I think all of us need to have that reminder to root our journeys in self-love. And does that mean like we're not going to have physique goals ever again? Like, no, but just recognizing like what the true importance is. Is the true importance to have this quote unquote like perfect body that, you know, is seen as like a model's body, and, you know, you feel like you have a perfect bikini body? Like, no, if that's your goal, which first of all is so freaking unattainable by society standards, like it's impossible. And we're trying to move away from that notion that there's this perfect body, and all bodies are beautiful. Like, we need to keep moving towards that. And that starts with self-love. So just knowing that you are doing the best that you can for your body, and like knowing your true motive, which is probably a feeling that you're aiming towards, whether that's happiness, whether that's contentment, whether that's peacefulness in regards to your body, whether that is like true confidence. That's the feelings you should be aiming for, not like some unattainable physique goal. So it is okay to have those goals, and I'm not saying I'm never going to have them again. I'm not saying I am not going back to lifting heavy. That is not what this podcast is at all. I am just saying that this is a lifelong journey, this fitness journey, and it has to be realistic for wherever we're at certain stages in our life. And life gets freaking chaotic and busy and sometimes feels overwhelming. And we have to know when to be kinder to ourselves and not pressure ourselves to show up all of the time with 100%. Yes, you can still show up with 1% effort or 1 minute effort. If I always said like, oh, well, you know, there's too much on my plate and I am way too overwhelmed, then you probably won't ever show up for yourself, which is a whole other topic. And that's just problematic in itself, because showing up for yourself is a form of self-love. But if you can do it for 1 minute every single day, like just commit to that habit, which literally could be you taking a 1 minute walk outside, or you doing 1 minute of stretches every single day, instead of saying, oh, I'll just get back to working out when things are a little less hectic. It's going to be so much harder to show up for that workout when you are ready for it than if you just continue the habit along the way and show your body and your mind self-love and give your body the movement that it needs to keep it energized and keep your mind energized. Everything is so connected. So let's end it there, because I could keep going and going. But yes, life is a never-ending journey. Fitness journey is never ending. And if you look at it from that lens and just come from a place of self-love, you are going to be so much happier on your fitness journey, and you're going to take the pressure off of yourself to be perfect. You're going to take the word failure right out of your vocabulary, and you're going to show up with self-love and feel so, so good. So yeah, I'm just going to keep practicing this myself. I always need this reminder, and I'm just trying to slow down even more. And with that being said, I am going to go move my body, but I'm not going to go force myself into the gym. I'm not going to force myself to hit a PR. I'm just going to go grab a couple of light dumbbells and do a backyard workout again, 2 days in a row, because that's what's been feeling good for me. So make sure you are doing what feels right for you. While it's still challenging, it needs to be realistic so you can show up for yourself day in and day out without getting burnt out. So let's get some movement in today together, and let's create our own truth.